I'm Anushka Gudekar from Kohinoor Management School. On behalf of KT Schools of Management Learning Resource Center, it's my absolute pleasure to welcome our guest for today, Mr. S. Hussain Zaidi. I also welcome CA Sunil Ji Karve, Honorary Chairman, Governing Board KT, Dr. Sandeep Sawant, Director KMS, Dr. Shvetlana Tatuskar, Director KBS, Dr. Bharati Deshpande, Dean KBS, faculty, staff, and students who have gathered here today. I couldn't be more excited to have such an incredible group of people here with us. This talk has been organized as a part of Reading Inspiration Day celebration, Vachan Prerna Din, which marks the birth anniversary of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, a man whose dreams inspired a nation. Dr. Kalam believed, and I quote, "A dream is not which you see while sleeping. It is something which does not let you sleep." Unquote. His life as scientist, thinker, writer, and motivational speaker continues to inspire us to dream big and strive for success. In his honor, KBS and KMS Learning Resource Center celebrates Reading Inspiration Day every year by hosting events. Today we are delighted to welcome Mr. S. Hussain Zaidi, a renowned author, journalist, storyteller whose journey I am sure will motivate us all. Let us have a round of applause for our guest speaker. Now, I invite Ms. Sara Khan from Kohinoor Business School to introduce Mr. Zaidi.
I, Sara Khan, consider it my privilege to get this opportunity of introducing Mr. S. Hussain Zaidi. Mr. Zaidi has carved an exceptional path in the world of crime reporting, investigative journalism, and storytelling. His career began as a crime reporter, where he uncovered the hidden truths and intricacies of organized crimes, particularly in Mumbai's notorious underworld. These early experiences laid the foundation of his unparalleled expertise and deep, insightful understanding of criminal landscape. From his powerful debut as an author, Mr. Zaidi has continuously captivated readers with gripping narratives that delve into Indian criminal history. Among his most notable works are Black Friday, the true story of Bombay bomb blast, Dungri to Dubai, 6 decades of the Mumbai Mafia, Mafia Queens of Mumbai, Bhaikala to Bangkok, and 11th Hour. His gripping storytelling and deep understanding of crime and law enforcement has also translated into major film adaptations such as Shootout at Wadala, Class of 83, and Gangubai Kathiawadi. In addition to writing, Mr. Zaidi is also known for his contributions to the acclaimed web series Bard of Blood, Scoop, and Bombay Meri Jaan, further consolidating his impact on both literature and cinema through his imprint Blue Salt Media. He has also mentored emerging authors, helping shape the next generation of storytellers. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. S. Hussain Zaidi is not just an author or a screenwriter. He is a storyteller who has brought to light the gritty realities of crime, law enforcement, and humanity. His work continues to inspire as well as challenge the audience and aspiring writers across India and beyond. Please give a loud round of applause for Mr. S. Hussain Zaidi. On behalf of KET Schools of Management's Learning Resource Center, I request our Honorary Chairman CA Sunil G. Karve to felicitate Mr. Zaidi as a token of our appreciation.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. Sir, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I mean, they have done so much for me that now kind of I'm so humbled that speechless, total lack of words. When I came here, I was thinking I'll say these many things. I have a list of about 10, 12 things, but now I'm totally blank. So you guys have to help me in, getting those things out of me and we can make this a very lively discussion. Thank you very much, sir. And thank you both the girls, who have been tremendously encouraging when I took the stage. Uh, I keep on entering so many gatherings, so many sessions where I keep delivering talks. But this young lot, the students, they always fascinate me more. Somehow, you know why? Because those, like even in IPS Academy in Hyderabad or those kind of places in Dehradun, I talk to them, but I don't find them hungry. I don't see drive in them. For them, I feel as if they have reached somewhere, so they don't want to try to go higher anymore. But this young lot who are totally hungry, who are totally passionate, devoted, and they want to, go and achieve higher goals, goals which like even at our times we did not even think, or we think that it could be accomplished. This young people could do it. So, as I said, that whenever I speak to you, I feel very good about it. I normally try to tell a couple of stories. When they both were telling me, narrating, describing me as my storyteller, I was getting embarrassed because in my world, storyteller is a negative term. We are journalists. We report the truth. We write about facts. Whenever in fact, if those guys who know about my work, they know that I am a non-fiction writer. So I have started writing fiction, but that is solely for the sake of making money. One, two, there are so many stories which can't be told in a factual way. I don't have those documents to support my story. I don't have any other evidence. I can't, like, people are not willing to come on record. So I tell those stories in fictional format. So, as I said, because a story should be told, we all deserve the truth. We all deserve to know what happened exactly. So I thought I will narrate those stories in a fictional format. But I've called that fiction in a very novel way. I call them faction. Why? Facts related in fictional way. Now this black orphan I just mentioned, so this is a real story, almost real story. The climax is not real, but apart from that, everything is real. Osama bin Laden, before Americans could reach him, there was an Indian agent who was involved. They call him Wolf. Wolf was the guy who got the basic information about Osama and he shared the information with the American Marines, and that's how they reached Abbottabad and he was killed. So Osama's daughter, they had one daughter who came to India to kill this guy and almost succeeded. And then there is a series of deaths of nuclear scientists which you can see on Google. I have mentioned only 4 deaths in my book, but they say that more than 8 nuclear scientists have been killed. Actually, they say natural circumstances, through accidents, suicide, or whatever. But all of them, 8 of them, have been killed in very mysterious circumstances. So those were the fodder or the basic ingredient for the story on which I have built my Black Orphan. Anyway, so I was saying storyteller is a negative word. I would like to be known as a writer or someone who's a journalist or investigative journalist because I've done a lot of work in investigative journalism. I have done stories about top police officers, IPS, DIG rank officers who were sexually harassing young police officers, sub-inspector level. So, I said that those are stories, after doing those kind of stuff, when you're described as storyteller, to thoda sa it stings somewhere. So, anyway. So, coming back to our today's topic, I want to ask you guys that do you not want to become writer? Do you not want to be a, I don't know, journalist? I'm not forced, I'm not going to ask you that question. But one thing which I tell all the youngsters that they all should write. Writing is very cathartic. When you write a book, when you author a book, when you try to put your thoughts in a book format, it could be anything. It could be children's stories. It could be, say, your own autobiography. It could be, say, some great person's biography. You all should write. I will tell you, this will help you in 2 things. And the subject of today's conversation is that I want to see, even if say there are 200 people of you, if one of you become a writer, I think this session of mine will be hugely successful, even one of you. Why? Because it's difficult to find diamonds very easily. So when you go to a diamond mines and they kind of dig for months and months, with great difficulty they manage to reach a place where they can find some raw diamond. So as of now, you guys are raw diamond, and if you guys can be shaped into one polished one, a valuable piece of diamond, I would be very proud of discovering one that particular talent here. Why you all should become writer? First, the basic problem that we all face is that we are not aware of our own thoughts. See, we realize that we want to speak up, we want to say so many things, we want to discuss, we want to communicate, we want to articulate our thoughts, but what we lack is eloquence. We all can speak, but what we can do is we can speak in the colloquial language in a way which we communicate at home, on the street, with our friends. But writing requires certain eloquence. So when you start writing, putting your thoughts on the paper, you will realize that there's a different man inside you who is getting encouraged to become very articulate and express his own thoughts in a very sophisticated manner. Don't you want to become a better and improved version of your own self? I'm sure you all want to. You are not happy with the version that you are, because if you kind of happy or satisfied with what you are, you will never go to the next level. So the first advantage of writing is that you improve yourself, you upgrade yourself, you take your talent and your skills to next level. Write for that reason. I mean, that's the first one, that upgrade yourself. The second point is that when you start writing, believe me, you'll be able to get a deeper and profound perspective of this world. Maybe, I mean, you may not be able to grasp the exact depth of what I'm trying to share with you right now, but if you start, you want to understand the world. See, whenever we go and we speak anywhere, I mean, it could be your friends, it could be your class, it could be your friend groups, whatever, people would see that if you speak intelligently, if your perspective is like having more depth in it, you are more well informed, you will realize that you gain more respect. People will start respecting you for the knowledge that you have. How does it get? By thinking, by putting your thoughts on paper, by trying to become a writer. So many people in this world who are nobodies, who could not make a mark in this world, when they started writing, they became very big. I want to narrate those stories, but for example, J.K. Rowling. You all know J.K. Rowling? She was pregnant, her husband or boyfriend had dumped her. She started writing the book from a cyber cafe. And you all know what happened, the history. There's so many writers, there's so many people I can tell you stories about and how they became big only through writing. So you may not make that writing as a source of your living, but it's quite possible that it can give you a lot of money. You can kind of, today it's a world of content management, content development. Everyone wants content, whether it's digital world, Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, whether YouTube or even publishers. You know what publishers look for? They look for someone who can write nicely, who can tell the story in a very different way, and who can hold the story until the end. So, for example, I will quote a word from the chief of Netflix when I met him recently. He said, "We are concerned about the first two episodes. If the audience will watch first two episodes, we don't have to worry about the later episodes." Similarly, in your book, if you're concerned about the first chapter, if you manage to hold the attention of people in the first chapter, you can take your readers till the end. And voila, you have succeeded in writing the book. So I'm trying to tell you that you might do management, you might try to do other things like financial management or marketing or other things, but the whole thing I'm trying to tell you that you can think of writing as something as a moonlighting passion. You can moonlight as a writer, and you don't have to like devote your entire life or abandon every other activity to become a writer. My friend in my group, Mr. Vikram Chandra, who encouraged me to turn into a writer from journalism, he said that you should only write 400 words a day. He said this is your formula of becoming a writer, and I'm telling you this worked with me, and this worked with all those whom I've mentored. Don't try to write the book, how will I write it? It's such a big subject and It's so difficult. There are so many complexities involved. How will I do this? He said, don't bother so much. Actually, he gave me one book, Bird by Bird. I think it will be there in your library or you can order online. The story is about there are so many birds. The child was asked to count all those, huge group of birds, sitting outside his house. And he told his father, how will I do that, father? Father said, don't think so much. Go bird by bird and you'll be able to count the bird till the end. So that's the theme of the book. Similarly about writing, you should try to just write 400 words a day. Don't worry about your language. Don't worry, how will I do this? Just try to vomit your thoughts, like basic, rudimentary, initial thoughts on the paper, first thoughts. And you will see that once after second, third, fourth session, or after first 400 or fourth 400 words, you will see that difference. You are growing, you're making progress, you are somehow realizing that you are becoming a better writer, a better thinker. And then slowly, as Mr. Chandra told me once, what happened that in 1997, I was a journalist only for 2 years. And just now I was telling sir that I became a journalist totally by accident. You all should listen to this story. Why? Because I thought I'm a totally useless loser, and how that guy can become a journalist. So you all should kind of take a leaf out of this. When if I can become a journalist, everyone can. Everyone can become better journalist or even much better writer, whatever than I am. So initial in 90s, I was a businessman. I was hardly 20-year-old, but I was making a lot of money through exports. I was traveling all over the world. So, with pride comes fall. I become a very arrogant man. To be at age 21, flying in business class, going to all those places, meeting all rich people, and they're respecting you and they're getting so impressed with your, the way, whatever you achieved, exporting stuff to US and etc. So I became quite arrogant at that time. Then came liberalization in 1992. And see, as I said, the youths, they have a problem. When they start becoming overconfident, they don't see stuff. So, as they say in Hindi, that hosh is always more important than josh. I lost my hosh at that time. So, I had kind of made all those big, invoices and big business deals. Did not consider that dollar has just been up there and rupee has been devalued. I started suffering a lot of losses. In 1993, I was on the road looking for my job. I didn't have a job at that time, and people were not willing to give me a job. Was small export executive. After being jobless for a few months, I thought I have to do work because I have a sister, I have a parent to look after. What do I do? So there was this business magazine exhibition world. I joined that magazine. I went to that office and I said, okay, I can write. See, the only saving grace in this entire episode was that I was reading a lot of books while traveling the flight or being somewhere. I used to read a lot of books. So I kind of at least write or I can understand how it can be written, or I had some whatever basic you can say worldview that can help me in shaping my writing. So when I went to this editor of Exhibition World, he said, "Can you don't have any journalistic experience? What will you do?" I said, please hire me for 1 month. Don't give me any salary. If in 1 month you are happy with my work, then you can give me salary. Otherwise, you may not. So he agreed for this deal, and after 1 month, he kind of hired me because he thought, okay, I'm tolerable. So after 6 months, I got tired of business journalism, exhibition world, trade fair, magazines. I mean, these are something which I will not enjoy. I mean, I'm sure no one will enjoy it. And after 6 months, I will do something. But I thought what to do at that time. After 93 blast, the reporters were not, writing against the Mumbai police. They did not have the basic courage to go and oppose the Mumbai police. I thought I would write something which is against the Mumbai police. So I went to Blitz magazine. There was Mr. Sudhendra Kulkarni, who was the editor at that time. I went and told him that I have a story against the Mumbai police. He was having his chai at that time, and the cup kind of, he was surprised. This young guy is saying that he's going to write against Mumbai police. What is your story? I said, fourth degree torture. He was again startled. He said, we have only heard of third degree. What is fourth degree torture? I said, sir, I'm going to write this story if you give me the opportunity. He said, okay, I will give you 600 rupees. I'm talking about 1994. 600 rupees is a big amount in those days. for a freelance journalist. Anyway, I did a research, and after a week, I filed a story. Blitz, which was selling only 5,000, 6,000 in those days, though they have a printout of 20,000, they ended up selling 19,000 on that day. Mr. Kulkarni gave me 1,200 rupees. I was like very happy, but 19,000 still is not a number. I did not see any impact on that article. I mean, I was very happy with 20 rupees, but I thought maybe people should read that. There should be some change. You know, we all journalists kind of think that, okay, we can change the world. We should be able to bring down the CM if we can write an article. These are crazy people, which you will realize if you meet them. So I thought there should be an impact. So I thought maybe I'll ask some other journalists to share the story with me in some other newspaper. And I started looking for some very, what you say, in Hindi, Dhasu journalist, Dabang journalist. I was reading all kinds of papers, Express, Times, and everything. I didn't find anyone as brave as one guy, and he had a very weird name. I could not make out who he was, from which region he was, and how good he was. But I saw that this man had a fantastic list of bylines. He was writing against the police. He was writing against the politicians. He is writing against the mafia. Everyone. The man was like crazy, as if he was not afraid, as if he's a robo. He's not a human being. See, as a human being, we all should be afraid. Fear is a natural instinct, the fear factor that we all should have. But this guy had no fear. So finally I called and I thought maybe I'll share this story with the journalist. And I called him and said, can I speak to Mr. Veli Thevar? Now, some names are really ajib. You can't make out what name it is. But the voice that answered the phone was a very nice, very sweet. I just felt love with the voice, but I thought, why? How can a man have a feminine voice? We all know that sometimes a man could be very dhasu, but how can a man have a feminine voice? But then it turned out that it was not a man, it was a woman. Shame on men. They can't be so brave that they can be writing this kind of story. This one woman who's so brave, he's taken on the whole system, like against the police, the corruption of police, the corruption of politicians. Some politician was made 120 crores at that time. This woman is not afraid of Mumbai underworld. First time I read stories which is writing as underworld. So there is no group of enemies which she has not made at that age. Anyway, we agreed to meet. We met on March 20, 1995. For 6 weeks, she kept on promising she will do a very good story. She will help me in the story becoming on page 1 and people getting more traction, etc. But for 6 weeks, nothing happened. So on 14th May 1995, I decided to take revenge from her. I proposed marriage. I married this girl. So, if at all to say that there's a woman behind your success, it is this woman. She told me that why don't I become mainstream journalist? Why am I wasting my talent in business journalism? Until then, I was not sure. I was not, because I had no, at that time, I've not done mass media, I've not gone to a formal schooling, I've not done any kind of exposure in journalism. Why I'm trying to emphasize in these points, you don't have to have an academic degree for excelling anywhere. You just have to have passion. Somebody should mentor you, somebody should advise you. So when she advised me, I applied in Asian Age, then I applied in Indian Express, and I got a job in Express as a reporter. That's also a very hilarious incident in Express. I don't know, I've mentioned several in social media, but I'll just mention it again for you. I met Express Mr. Sai Swe Sivswamy. Sivswamy is a very handsome guy. He is, having long. Thank you, man. Thank you. Very handsome looking Amir Khan type guy. So he was interviewing me. He said, you want to become journalist Express? Now Express at that time was a much in demand newspaper, unlike Times of India. So now it's Times of India, but in those days it was Indian Express. So he said, you want to become a journalist? I said, yeah, what do you want to cover? I said, maybe education and politics and BMC, health, medicine. So, all those journalists have very wrong ideas. They'll change the world. I mean, with one story, I can change the medical world, BMC will come to the road, and politicians will reform. So I just thought all these things. He looked at me. He said, "We have only one vacancy left." Which one? He said, "Crime journalism. I can only give you a job of crime reporter." No, I didn't want to become crime reporter. So no, I don't want to be crime reporter. Who wants to do crime reporting? He said, "But that's the only vacancy you have. If you want to join, I can give you that job." I was quiet. I had no response. Then he dropped a bombshell. And I said, "This is what is hilarious." He said, "Why don't you look at all those criminals? Dawood Ibrahim, Haji Mustan, Chota Shakil, Abu Salim, Kareem Lala, all these are Muslims. You are a Muslim guy. Go make a difference." I was looking at him, stunned. I don't know how to react to this statement. But then I found that he's right. He's saying that if as a Muslim I can make a difference. If all these are Muslim guys and they are criminals, perhaps as a crime journalist I can try to do something. I took up crime journalism with passion, and then I started doing crime reporting differently in those days. I'm sorry to use this word I came in, I thought maybe I'll try to refer to this person as third person. I'll not reveal it's me, but all this has kind of unsettled my whole confidence in the kind of structure that I had in my mind about this. So that's how this kind of came out. So crime reporting in those days, people were just reporting about all the incidents without citing from official documents, FIR or court documents, or say remand application, or even the verdict, the court judgment. They were just doing kite flying, all kinds of. For example, now in Baba Siddiqui's case, you can see there is no element of truth in the reporting. Everyone is just speculating. It's just everyone who will watch anything. Because you know what? One DN Murthy expressed to say, okay, it's very easy to write about Mumbai crime. Why? Because no one issues a press release. Jo mangta hai likho, whatever you want to write, just write anything. That was a very wrong thing actually. I felt bad about it, so I necessarily quoted from the FIR. I started quoting from court documents, judgment, and I realized that every time the story was coming on the page one, it was giving me high. The addiction of getting the page one, and this kind of encouraged me so much that in a year or two, I've kind of got some credibility about myself. And then I met Mr. Vikram Chandra. Mr. Vikram Chandra was writing sacred games in those days. I'm talking about 1997. He took 9 years to write Sacred Games. Now it was like quite an accident to meet him, and he at that time wanted just to see. See, he's a guy based in US. He's teaching in the University of Berkeley, creative writing, and he wanted to see Mumbai. So for an American type guy, for him who has never been to Dongri, he has not gone to Bhendi Bazaar. What is Jabbari ki chai and what is Bindi Bazaar ka that naan chap, all those things. He has not seen what is Park Modia Street. So when he stood outside Dawood Ibrahim's headquarters, Acha, ye hai kya Dawood Kadda? As he's going to stand you 5 minutes, they're going to shoot you dead. So he was like that, reckless. I mean, because he didn't know he's not supposed to say things like this anyway. But I kind of took him around for a year or so, various places. We met hitmen, we met so many underworld guys. We went to Arun Gavli. Now, Dagdi Chawl, I don't know if you have guys seen Dagdi Chawling from outside or inside. If you go inside that den of Arun Gavli, you will see it more like a mandir than a headquarter. Why? You will see all the, Shankar, Krishna, Saraswati, so many other Ganesha. The whole meeting room is surrounded by all those, Hindu gods and goddesses. See, what is this? Am I in a mandir? What is this? That's what Arun Gavli lives in. They will protect me. Why are you doing such things? Why are you being a don? Why are you being a gang lord? But anyway, Vikram Chandra enjoyed all those meetings, and then at the end he says, "You know so much underworld. You are like so much like having this kind of connection with everyone. They meet you, they respect you. Why don't you write a book?" And that's how I'm just trying to cut down the long story that Black Friday happened. I took 4 years to write Black Friday, and thank you very much. And another 7 years to write Dongri to Dubai. So just into the bracket, I will tell you something, and then I can leave that for question and answers. While writing Dongri to Dubai, I realized that the research took 7 years for me. But while researching on this book, I realized there was a byproduct of that book. Please pay attention to what I'm telling you, the byproduct of Dongri Dubai. I realized that there are much more dangerous and lethal group of women criminals than men. There is a Sapna Didi, which is more dangerous than Dawood Ibrahim. There is Papa Mani, which is more Machiavellian than Haji Mastan. There is, Jinabai Daruwali, who is more cunning and shrewd than Karim Lala. Women are more dangerous than men. I'm sorry. I'm not making a generic statement, but I have said in my book that, in this 25 years of underworld, no man has ever, thought of killing Dawood Ibrahim in a Sharjah match. It is one widow, Sapna Didi, who planned to kill him in a Sharjah match in 1987. Look at the gumption, look at the grit. So there's a Yiddish term called kuzpah. Please go and check the spelling. Chutzpah. I think the word kuzpah is invented only for such women, Sapna Didi. Or it's a word only meant for the daring and grit of women. Anyway, some other time about women, but I said that the byproduct. I found 10, 12, these kind of women who are very brave and like very courageous, and their mindset was totally different. They can manipulate men. For example, Jenabai, she had entire crime branch of those Sahasrabade, Gold, Bole, and Gokhale. Like there was a Trimurti of these officers in crime branch in those days. And then there's a Trimurti of crime world. There's Haji Mastan, Karim Lala, and Vardarajan. Jena Bai, an unlettered woman, can manipulate all these difficult men. So I just thought, okay, while I'm doing Dong Dubai, I should write Mafia Queens of Mumbai. And that's how Mafia Queens of Mumbai happened. So, just coming to the conclusion here, I'm saying that this all is done by one very ordinary man who had no formal training, background, education. But if he could do all this, you all are having an edge of superiority over this man. You all could do a much better writer, you can do better research, you can come up with fantastic ideas, cerebral, lucrative, commercially successful ideas, and you all can become writer or you can all can make big in life. What you need to do is read a lot and practice writing. If you do these two things well, then I think दुनिया आपके कदमों में होगी. Thank you very much. I'm sorry मैंने बहुत time ले लिया, but you can ask questions if there are any.
Questions?
Very good evening, sir. So the question is, what's one of the most memorable or surprising experience you have had during your investigating reporting career that didn't make it to any of your book?
So many of them, actually. Okay. Chota Shakil was someone who was very upset with my writing. And he used to keep threatening me all the time. Because when I wrote the story of Mafia Queen's Mrs. Paul, he was trying to, flirt with wife of his sharpshooter, Arif Kalia. Arif Kalia was in jail in Thane, and his wife, was apparently good looking. I'm no one to judge, but Chota Shakil was flirting with this woman. So I kind of wrote that story in Mafia Queens about Mrs. Paul. Chota Shakil was very upset. He said, "मैं मरवा दूंगा, गोली मार दूंगा, ये कर दूंगा, पूरे खानदान को खत्म कर दूंगा." Those kind of threats. So, very early in my career, I decided that I will not be afraid of these people, because if you are scared once, you'll be scared forever. I made one very outrageous attempt in those days. My wife is not aware of this. I think if this is recorded, she will know it today. In 2004, India and Pakistan had a temporary phase of friendship where Indian cricket team was allowed to visit Pakistan, and they were allowed to play in Pakistan, in Islamabad, in Karachi, in Lahore. 3-4 matches they were allowed to play in Pakistan. I applied visa as a cricket journalist, and accompanied that team of journalists who were going to Pakistan. I was in midday in those days. I reached Karachi airport and I called Chota Shakil. I said, "Hello, Shakil भाई सुनिए, मैं यहाँ पे कराची एयरपोर्ट में मैकडोनल्ड के सामने 4 घंटे खड़ा हूँ. आप जितने आदमी भेज के मरवाना चाह रहे हैं मरवा दीजिए. I have not written about this because I'm scared of my wife. My wife is, by the way, Hindu. She has a lot of sindoor and she wants to say that I want to die with the sindoor on. If she'll hear all this, she can die of that shock that how her husband is a crazy man. छोटा सा she'll start making excuses. Oh, कौन बोला मैं पाकिस्तान में हूँ और मैं यहाँ नहीं करता हूँ, ये नहीं करता. But those kind of things. But he could not believe that some mad guy could reach Pakistan and can challenge it to send his people to, come and kill him at the Karachi airport, at McDonald's, whatever. So this is one thing which is not there in my books, which I'm sharing with you today. Yes, please. Anything. You can speak in Marathi, Hindi, whatever language.
My name is SK Mehboob Ali. Basically, I am Muslim.
Ji.
So you told that you married a Hindu girl.
Ji.
So you are believing that you are a rationalist Muslim rather than a genuine Muslim, believing like in rituals and whatever written in our scriptures like Quran. So basically, I need.
Sorry, repeat the question again. I didn't
So
get
what I'm asking you,
Yeah.
you are a true Muslim or a rationalist Muslim? Means a better version of Muslim, like that whatever written in the scripture is you believe, or have you your own version of like following?
No, I believe in Islam. My parents were very religious. Even I believe in religion of Islam, in the proper traditions and proper hadith, Quran, all that.
Right.
So
there-
how does it stop me from marrying a Hindu woman?
not like that.
Huh.
Basically, there are so many rituals and so many things which is written in the book on scripture that conflict with today's world. That way I want to say. I have spoken with so many friends like who believe in Hinduism. They
Huh.
are saying so many things which is so inspiring, right? Basically, for me, I am believe that I'm a rationalist Muslim which don't believe in blood and things. So yeah, are you believe on that? Like your opinion on that? Like whatever written in
I
the
believe in
scripture.
I believe in Quran or hadith. You said or
Yes,
no?
yes.
Of course, I believe in Quran and hadith.
Everything.
Of course, everything. I believe in Quran. I believe in Muhammad. I believe in the oneness of God. I believe in Day of Judgment. Yes.
Okay, and what's your opinion about Hinduism, sir?
Hinduism is a way of life. It's a religion which is one of the oldest civilizations and culture in this world, and we should respect Hinduism. Like Quran says, "Lakum dinukum waliya deen." For me is my religion, for is your religion. So
Correct.
there is no conflict between the coexistence of two religions.
Thank you, sir. I got my answer.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sir, you may find this question very funny.
जी.
I wanted to ask, sir, आप अभी भी कितने gangsters के टच में हैं? And one more thing, again maybe this is funny, but आजकल न्यूज़ में हम पढ़ रहे हैं बिश्नोई gang and all that. So just a question, are you planning to write a book on Bishnoi gang?
तो पूरा speech पूछ लिया आपने. It's not a question. It's an entire matter for a speech. See, first of all, I am not in touch with gangsters. They kind of they keep in touch with me through some via channels. Like they call me or they send me a message that is it okay to meet us? So I said, why should I? I don't want to. I have nothing to meet them. They said, he can come to Mecca for pilgrimage, for Hajj Umrah. We'll meet him in Mecca or Medina. I said, why? Why use religion for meeting them? So they have told me this so many times. Arun Gavli, his family, his daughter keeps calling me Geeta. Zaidi sahab, yahan aa rahe hain kya? I said, no, main nahi aa raha hu. So they are, like, these are people who try to keep in touch with me, but I don't want to, I don't have to. I mean, in my life, I have gathered enough knowledge, enough information, which I can write without even being in touch with them. A. B. Bishnoi, I don't think is a gang. I mean, Bishnoi is a cult. I mean, these are religious people who are environmentalists, who are trying to protect the environment. And I don't know if you're aware of the history of Bishnois, but they have given life to even save a tree. They have given life to save some animals. I mean, if you see, Bishnois it's not the criminal type. See, even Lawrence Bishnoi, he might have become a criminal, but you can't see a gang. People cannot be identified because one guy was from a religion, so that's a gang. They actually, Bishnois are, as I said, environmentalists. Much before the Chipko movement, they had, all those things to save trees and save animals and all those. So My thing is that they, how to say this without getting misunderstood, they are not a very lucrative subject as a gang to be written about. So I'm saying Dawood Ibrahim is a gang. I mean, Abu Salim, Haji Hussain is a gang, they are criminals. But Bishnoi, one guy, Lawrence Bishnoi, I mean, who's saying that he wants to kill Salman Khan, and there are not even very many other cases against him. Because now I read yesterday, there's the release from the extortion case. There's no extortion case against him. And apart from Salman Khan, I don't see any other headline for him. So I don't think it's a gang as such, and they may not even survive for long that way. 2 years, 5 years, they'll be gone, even disappear also. So I'm sorry if I've not been able to
thank
give a
you.
satisfactory answer.
Sir, last question.
Yes, ma'am. Acha.
Sir, what are you planning to write in future? Any thought?
I was telling him, Sunil sir, when I was coming here, that today the world has become a sequel-driven, franchise-driven world. I mean, there were times when you could write one masterpiece and you are done with it. But today, the people, they want to read more if they see that it's a successful franchise. So after writing Black Friday, Dong to Dubai, Mafia Queens, I realized that I still keep getting a lot of letters and a lot of calls from the publishers and from the readers both. Iska part 2 kab aayega, sir? When are you reading part 4 Mafia Queens? So until then I did not think that I should write, but then there came a time that, as a journalist, we always think that you should score an exclusive. When you become a journalist, you want to come ahead of others and go for page one which others have not done. So that's why when I wrote Black Friday, I realized that nobody has done profiles of Underworld Dawn. So I wrote Dong to Dubai. Now after writing Dong to Dubai, there was a huge criticism. Oh, you have only written about Muslim dons. There are so many Maharashtrian gangsters also. Oh God. I said, there's so much of prejudice here. So then I wrote Baigla to Bangkok. Only about Maharashtrian gangsters of Mumbai. So when I did those kind of stories, I said there was always a angle of exclusivity here. So now in Mafia Queens, when I wrote Mafia Queens of Mumbai, I started getting letters and calls across the country. अरे यहाँ भी तो माफिया क्वीन है ना, गुजरात में भी है, मेरठ में भी है, यूपी में है, हरियाणा में है, आप उनके बारे में क्यों नहीं लिखते हैं? I realized I have 15 very dangerous women across the country. So not for the money or the commercial angle, I just as a journalist thought, okay, before I die, I should write about some more dangerous women. So this time, I am co-authoring with my wife, my very beautiful wife. We both are married for 29 years. She was very upset with me. She's very upset with me that I have co-authored with others, but I have not co-authored with my own guru, the real guru, my wife. So to just, unki shikayat dur karne ke liye, I decided I'll co-author this book with her. So it's going to be Mafia Queens of India with Hussain Zaidi and Veli Thevar. And then there is this Dong to Dubai ka sequel, which I'm going to write. It's going to come out in December, I think, or January. Dubai to Karachi. So what happened to Dawood from after Dubai? How he went to Karachi and how he went and ruled Pakistan. Currently, Dawood is choosing presidents and prime ministers of Pakistan. So I just thought it should be a book. People should read about his exploits in Pakistan. That kind of thing. Thank you very much. If there's no more questions, we will get
Two questions. If you want one.
Okay, please. Laukar. I like this Marathi word laukar, They ask you to love, but they mean hurry up.
Good afternoon, sir. So it is often said that movies don't do justice to the books they are based on.
Yes, correct.
As a writer, what is your take on this?
Of course, I agree fully with you. Movies don't do justice. They do a lot of injustice to the book that they're based on. Don't make panga with my filmmaker friends if I'm going to name them. But I agree with you. Yes, sir.
So you said that you have wrote against police officers as well as criminals. So what do you think? Who is more dangerous? That the criminals or those so-called protectors we have?
You don't want my wife to remain Suhagan for long. Huh? I was thinking of finishing 50 years with her, but I think you're going to steal her sindoor very soon. Well, Mumbai police, they're always more dangerous. They're more cunning. They're always, unreliable, not trustworthy at all. Gangsters can be trusted. Thank you very much, friends. It was very encouraging, very inspiring. And I hope you guys think of my advice to be a writer someday. And if at all you need any mentoring or any help or any kind of guidance, this guy will always be there to will help you in whatever way. Please write. Please become a writer. Get fame, get money, get somewhere in life by writing. Please, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I, Siddesh Sukre, a student of Kohinoor Management School, consider it my privilege and honor to extend the vote of thanks for today's insightful session. On behalf of KT Schools of Management's Learning Resource Center, I thank our distinguished guest, Mr. S. Hussain Zaidi. Your real-world experiences have provided us with invaluable takeaways. Every program we organize here has the strong support of leadership team comprising CA Sunilji Karve, Honorary Chairman Governing Board KET, Dr. Sandeep Sawan, Director KMS, Dr. Svetlana Tatuskar, Director KBS, Dr. Bhati Deshpande, Dean KBS, and CA Pallavi Ambedkar. A very special thanks to Dr. Bhati Deshpande, Dean KBS, for her encouragement and follow-up to conduct this talk. I would also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the efforts of our dedicated library team, faculty and staff members, student volunteers and book club members, the marketing department, maintenance team, and IT department. Without their tireless behind the scenes work, none of this would have been possible. I would also like to thank all of you from the audience for attending this event with eagerness and enthusiasm and making it a memorable one. Thank you all and have a great evening.